I'm Marisa Mohi, and I am a writer, tarot reader, and creative coach. I help creatives build their online platform in order to start their own business. 2020 was a weird year for me. It was probably the first time in my life that I felt burnt out from life rather than from creative work. I'm really used to pushing myself and, maybe working more hours than I should, but 2020 was the first time that I realized that my exhaustion was coming just from watching the news and trying to be a person rather than from the work I was doing. So I realized that I needed a lot more downtime. And this really did impact my creativity in that I wasn't able to do as much work as I normally do. But it did help me get away from screens. I realized I was kind of mainlining the news, just kind of drinking from the fire hose all the time. So I stepped away a little bit from social media, didn't watch as much TV, and I realized that doing this was really helping me kind of calm down a little bit and then reassess what I really wanted out of, my day-to-day routines. And that also kind of interrupted a lot of the creative routines I had because a lot of my business does revolve around social media and, creating content for social media. And some of my favorite forms of creativity are blogging or creating YouTube videos. So stepping back a little bit really changed all the creative routines I had in place and really made me rethink what I was working on. So in order to keep myself motivated in my creative work, I knew I had to create new routines, but also create a whole self-compassion ritual. So I knew that I wasn't going to be able to judge the work I did on, 2019 or 2018 standards. I wasn't going to be able to push myself the way that I had in the past. And I knew that 2020 was going to be a year where I was kind of going to be constantly hit with bad news about friends or family. And I knew that I needed to take care of myself just in the event that that did happen. So rather than pushing myself or working myself to exhaustion like I normally do, I took a lot of time to consume more art than I created. So watching lots of good movies, reading lots of books. 2020 functionally rekindled my love of reading. Now, I've always been a reader, but I read way more in 2020 than I had in a really, really long time. So that was a great way for me to rest and recharge and fill the creative well, because that was something that I was struggling with. I also did The Artist's Way at the end of 2020, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It is a 12-week program that you go through and kind of heal your art scars that you have around creativity or self-judgment or shame. And doing that really helped a lot as well, because it helped me focus on the things that I really wanted to do and all the things I was doing to get in my own way. So I have a pretty intense writing ritual, and I know that we say a lot, like, writers just write, you don't need the ritual. I beg to differ. Michael Phelps won several gold medals in Beijing during the Olympics, and he had a very intense ritual where he listened to specific music. He did, a specific meditation. He would touch different sides of the diving platform. Like, I think that we need to institute that sort of rigidity and routine in our creative lives in order to get ourselves in the headspace that we need to be in to do the work we do. So, in order to really put myself where I needed to be, I created a ritual. And what I do is every morning I work out first thing. After my workout, I grab breakfast. I eat breakfast, and then while I'm sipping coffee, I do morning pages, which is part of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. So that is 3 longhand pages on a notebook paper, just getting my brain out on paper. Then I do some more creative work. Now, if I'm actually writing, I will sit down with my coffee. I will light a candle, a very specific candle. I like the Mood candle from Shop Commandeer in Oklahoma City, or the Blood Orange candle from OK Collective in Oklahoma City. I will light one of those, and I will set a timer. This specific timer is just a dollar store kitchen timer. I will set it for 20 minutes, and I will write. And doing that sort of ritual has really helped me get into the headspace and just push myself to work. And having the timer there is really helpful because when that timer's going, I am writing going full speed, and that keeps me from getting distracted. It also enables me to focus a lot better because I know it's just 20 minutes, and then once those 20 minutes are over, I can go back and do edits, or I can look at something else, or I can take a 5-minute break, maybe fill up my coffee, and then do some more writing. I definitely recommend the Mindful Muse retreat. I really love it. So, my favorite thing about it is how holistic the approach is. It's not just you sitting in conference rooms and chugging caffeine, trying to stay awake while somebody drones on and on. It's really engaging talks, and there's so much time to actually talk with other people who are there to share your experience, to share more about yourself. But also, there's a nature walk, which is probably my favorite thing about the entire experience. Just getting to get outdoors, so you nurture your mind and then you get to go outside in the sunshine and nurture your body. It feels so good. And I will say that every time I go, by the end of the day, I'm exhausted, but in the best possible way, because your brain is tired, but from, like really good conversation and deep thoughts. And then you're also tired from that nature walk. And it's the most fulfilling sort of exhaustion you can have. So, some of my advice for newbie creative entrepreneurs is to step back from social media a little bit. I think it can be really easy to look at people who seem to have it all, or who are bragging about their 6-figure launches, or, like how their first book was a bestseller and things like that. Like, maybe that is the case, but feeling shame or jealousy around those things isn't going to get you anywhere. And in fact, I would argue self-compassion is going to take you a lot farther in your career. So something to start practicing now is appreciating all the work you do. Make note of the things that you're grateful that you're capable of doing. And then if you make a mistake, make sure you're there for yourself and say, hey, that's okay, kid, look at it next time, because there is nobody else that is going to do that for you. I know it's cliche, but you have to love yourself, because nobody else can love you the way that you are supposed to be loved, because only you know that intuitively in your head. So you have to be there for yourself in a way that nobody else will. And the creative entrepreneurship journey is very individual. It can be really lonely. And in 2020, let me tell you what, it was pretty lonely. So just know that you're kind of going down this path all by yourself. You have to make sure you're taking care of you. So, I am currently working on a short story collection all about books and the women who love them and the supernatural entities that lurk between the pages. This short story collection will be available in June, so keep your eyes peeled. If you are interested in learning more about this short story collection, you can follow my blog at marisamohi.com and sign up for my newsletter there. Any announcements about this collection will be made in my newsletter for sure, and on the blog as well. You can also follow me on YouTube at youtube.com/Marisa Mohi, or you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter at the Marisa Mohi.